so much of today's media is glorifying people like Kanye West, glorifying people like Kim Kardashian, glorifying people that don't really have much value other than, you know, some of their beauty or their plastic breasts or their singing voice. And I don't think that that's really helping people that much. I mean, it's if anything, it's just making you want to, you know, maybe get your own talent show or something. I don't know. It's just not really making men men. It's weird. And I always like to ask, what do you think is causing this massive sort of weakness in men today?
Oh, you've touched on a lot of topics there, and really that can't be answered in a simple, statement.
Right.
However, having said that, let's break it down a little bit. So men are fueled by testosterone. It's a powerful chemical, and through history, it's created a lot of problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we continue to create testosterone as men, and we need an outlet for that. So previously, you're talking about expeditions, new lands, conquers and conquests, fighting. It's a tribal thing, and the testosterone hadn't had this outlet. And now what we see is that there's not much of an outlet for that, chemical reaction that's happening in the male body. So if we don't involve kids in sport, if we don't involve men in some sort of pursuit where they're able to, have that physical exertion, have that outlet for that chemical reaction, then if we keep suppressing that, then what we have is, we have men turning on each other, we have men turning on society. And then if we then couple that with what you're talking about, which is a Hollywood version or a fast takeaway food version of society, and we suppress this ability to have wholesome living, testosterone outlet, then we don't have anything for men to aspire to. And I think that when they start to suppress it more, and they look at things like Kanye West and Kim Kardashian and those sort of things, and they start to emulate that rather than, your forefathers and, the great deeds that have happened through history. It's where we see society going off track. It's a really convoluted answer to your question, but I think your question is really difficult to answer with, a simplistic answer.
Yeah,
but it's definitely got something to do with testosterone.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too, because a lot of guys, they'll tell you answers like, oh, it has to do with technology or this or that, but it also has to do with testosterone, obviously. And another interesting thing I would add is that a lot of the food, and I don't know if you ever heard about the whole link between plastics and testosterone reduction. Yeah, so that's interesting too, because a lot of the food that people are eating today and stuff is causing men to have a reduction in their testosterone. So
right.
It's definitely a complicated answer, that's for sure.
No, I agree. And, I'm 44 this year, and, as I get older, I find that I now lift heavier, deliberately lift heavier in the gym. I deliberately do things that are harder, that most men in their 40s, they start to relax and sit on the couch and watch TV more. Whereas I find that if you want to keep your testosterone levels up, if you want to remain young, you have to do things that are taxing on the central nervous system. And you have to find these pursuits that allow you to, A, create testosterone as you get older, because it slows down as we get older, but B, also it's good for your mental health to be able to, build that testosterone level in your body, maintain it, and then have some sort of hard exertion at least once a day.
Definitely. That's interesting. I just came back from the gym, actually. Today's my first day back in the actual gym. I used to work out at home until pretty much today, and it feels great just lifting heavy, and I definitely feel an energy that makes me feel more like a man. So definitely agree on that. And obviously, as you age, a lot of guys do start to kind of slack off, and they start saying stuff like, oh, when I was younger, I used to work out, but now I'm taking it easy. And you just see them start declining in performance and in their health, and they don't have to, and you're a good example of that. So,
well, I see that. I see that too, Max. I mean, the gym I go to, the CrossFit gym that I work out in, there's guys that are younger than me, but you know what? I've had 20 years more training time than them. So age shouldn't be an excuse. It's true that our performances start to become, less potent as we get older, but that can be tapered slowly as long as you maintain the rage, so to speak.
Definitely.